the mother of wisdom. I am the nexus of flesh and machine. I am Juno.
Stand by. Resetting firmware. And operating system failure.
Look out!
Life is not a fairy tale, and there are no happy endings.
Juno, also known as Uni, was born into the Illuminate Cathay in the city of Fanon in the year 2195 of the Isu era. Juno was an Isu scientist, the wife of Aita, and a member of the Capitoline Triad alongside Jupiter and Minerva. 3 centuries after his death, Juno entered the abandoned laboratory of the Precursor Isu Scientist Kansas, and she found there Kansas trapped inside his own prototype Shroud of Eden. So he could cheat death, but unfortunately for him, he got trapped inside his own creation. She, Juno, learned all she needed to know on how to transfer consciousness to something else, like a machine or a device. She wanted to use this for her own goals. Juno was the one who informed Kansas on the existence of humanity, who thought such a feat was not possible. During the Human-Isu War, Juno was among those who avoided the fighting. At some point, Minerva, Juno and her father Saturn were discussing the growing threat of humanity. Minerva, as shown on screen, has more of an optimistic view on humanity, but her fellow Isu scientist was the exact opposite of her. She was completely disgusted by humanity as a whole, so much so that according to the main protagonist of the canon comics, Charlotte de la Cruz, had this to say about Juno after being in her head for a while. Juno's an Isu supremacist, the ultimate fascist. She doesn't believe humans should have any say in their destiny at all. As far as she's concerned, we are just livestock. As you can see here on screen, she mocks the humans trying to be like them, and she even starts talking about exterminating them. Minerva protested against her and talks about how we, the humans, can make art in the dust and make songs of our own invention, and that perhaps one day we can rule beside them as equals. Saturn agrees with her, but then gets stabbed in the head by a human slave. "Father!" screamed Juno. "The uprising is upon us! Our chains will be shattered by your own weapons!" Juno quickly grabbed the Koh-i-Noor, for those who don't know, a powerful piece of Eden, and out of rage, she incinerated the humans. "That is enough, Juno! You're no longer a threat!" Minerva yelled when she was holding Saturn's body in her arms. "Their hearts are engines of hate. They will tear us and each other apart if we do not act. We must save them from themselves. We must save them." This only made her hatred for humanity even stronger. So much so, in fact, that she started sending emails to Desmond Miles in the Grand Temple on how much she despised humans and what they did to her father. I made a full analyze video on the death of Juno's father, which I will link in the description down below, so you can check it out yourself. During the war, Juno, Jupiter and Minerva were looking for ways to stop the coronal mass ejection that was about to hit the Earth. For years they worked together in the underground Grand Temple to come up with solutions that were developed in a network of secondary temples or vaults. And all their knowledge will be sent to one single place, the Grand Temple. As research continued, Juno's husband Aita volunteered himself to test one of the methods that was being researched by the Capitoline Triad. This method allowed the Isu race to transfer their mind into an artificial body. The experiment failed and Aita was left inside his surrogate body, with his mind failing and weakening, and the only thing Juno could do was kill him to release him of his suffering. But before doing so, Juno secretly took some of his genetic material to create sages, so that the true lovers might be reunited one day again. Minerva created a new method to stop the end from happening, the Eye. But during this time, Juno was making her plans and putting them into motion, so that she could take over the world so that humanity will not inherit it. Once Minerva and Jupiter found out about Juno's plans and her tampering with the Eye, that would give Juno control of the world, Minerva destroyed the Eye to meddle with Juno's plans, and dooming humanity for a second disaster. All of this eventually led to Juno's consciousness being imprisoned inside the Grand Temple, hoping that she will not survive. But she did. During her imprisonment, she repaired the eye and used Desmond Miles' sacrifice to free her consciousness from the temple. Once she was freed, she used the Abstergo team's equipment they brought into the Grand Temple to escape, and so she entered the web, which she likes to call the Grey. Think of it as a digital afterlife where your mind can still live on. Since her escape from the Grand Temple in 2012, she started building her armies, looking for sages and artifacts, trying to get a physical form in our world. She even made contact with Abstergo employees and Templars over the years, and even contacted an individual in 2015 we call the Initiate, who was looking for the Shroud of Eden for the Assassin Brotherhood. When it was revealed the Shroud of Eden was hidden underneath the Buckingham Palace, the assassins Sean Hastings, Rebecca Crane and Kalina Voronina went to the palace to retrieve the shroud, but quickly found the Abstergo task force going by the name Sigma Team had beaten them to it. The assassins confronted the Templars to get back the Shroud of Eden, but they lost the fight by being outnumbered and the shroud stayed in the hands of the Templars. Juno met her demise in 2017 by the assassins Kalina Voronina, Charlotte de la Cruz, Arend Cunningham, Kiyoshi Takahura and Master Templar Gianni Otzelberg, who all worked together to enter a hidden Phoenix project site where her body was being constructed. While Juno's followers were fighting off their assailants, Charlotte sneaked her way past the followers of Juno and confronted the Precursor Scientist in the room where her body was constructed. Juno now had a physical form. Juno shot some form of energy beams out of her hands from her new body at Charlotte and at her allies too, who came to help her in her fight against Juno. How was Juno able to shoot energy beams out of her hands, you ask me? Well, Juno herself remarks that the power of the shroud infuses her body with energy. The fight between Juno and the Assassins and Templars is so big that it starts destroying the ceiling. Juno's throat gets slit by Charlotte's hidden blade, ending the fight between Goddess and Creation. The Assassins and Otzelberg escape the Phoenix project site as it slowly collapses around them, except Charlotte and Juno, who are still inside, and Otzelberg activates a detonator which blows up the lab with the two women still inside. And that is how Juno's story ended. Or so we think. Juno herself states that her body has been infused with the power of the Shroud. We all know that the Shroud can heal wounds quickly. We have seen this firsthand in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Crawford Sterrick got shot and stabbed multiple times in the ending of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but the Shroud quickly healed him. But what about the explosion? In one of the sound files in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Dr. Grammatica died in an explosion while wearing the Shroud of Eden, but he still survived. I'm not the only person who finds this fake, because many other people have talked about this too. Maybe Ubisoft and the comic writers did this on purpose so they can perhaps bring her back one day in the future if they might need her for something. But for now I think we can officially consider her dead and that her story has ended here. Juno did have effect on the historical segments in the Assassin's Creed franchise. As an example here, in Assassin's Creed 3, Connor Kenway came into contact with Juno through a crystal ball, and she convinced him to seek and join the Assassins so that the Grand Temple will be safe. But also by doing this, Connor fought during the American Revolution. She also created the sages like Bartholomew Roberts, who opened the door to the Observatorium in Assassin's Creed 4. There's also this little story about how Juno was involved with the death of Kalina's mother, but I do feel like this video has gone on long enough now. And so I would like to end the video here, but I do like to say a few things first. Juno as a character and as a storyline concept fascinates me because of all the things you could do with it, but the way how it was handled was poorly done, and I might even make a video on it in the future. But okay, that was enough on that, and I hope you have a fun day or night wherever you are.